Welcome to Sales is Not a Dirty Word. I'm your host, innovative sales coach Aleasha Bahr, the creator of the Black Sheep Sales Method, because if it's a fit, it's a fact, and there's no selling involved. If you're a service provider selling your own service who's ready to sell differently than the mainstream status quo and convert 8 out of 10 sales conversations without having to act like a douchebag, then this is for you. If you want to know more about the Black Sheep Sales Method, go to aleashabar.com. So, today I'm going to talk about a philosophy or strategy that some very popular sales experts or gurus talk about, and that is tone in a sales conversation. So, they really emphasize that a sales conversation can go many different ways based on just the inflection of your voice when you're communicating. And this is true, right? I truly believe that people have been murdered, like husbands and wives, and probably not just husbands and wives, have been murdered because someone had a tone. It wasn't the words they were saying, it was how they were saying them, right? I'm sure some of my listeners have gotten in a fight over just the way somebody said something. I know I have. So, yes, tone is incredibly important. However, when I see sales scripts, which I have, that break out the tone for each line of the conversation, it's so overwhelming to actually execute. And if you are so in your head about what tone you're going to deliver something in, you're just not present. You are not present in the conversation. I've had a salesperson who adopted this methodology come into my program, and when I watched his recorded calls, there were really important context clues that were completely missed because they were so focused on saying exactly what was said in the script in the tone that it said to say it. And what's going to work so much better than manufacturing a tone is to just have an intention. Just set an intention for a sales conversation that is like, I want to be curious. I want to understand what's in this person's best interests. I want to guide this person to the best solution for them. And naturally, when you have that intention, your tone is going to follow without you even having to think about it. So, the idea that you would need to falsely create a tone of voice to communicate things versus just that actually being your agenda, I mean, that would just be so much more difficult. And no wonder these expert sales strategies take hundreds of repetitions to master because you're basically becoming some type of actor in that situation. And you need to really be like an acting class and stuff. So it's going to honestly resonate on a much deeper level with your prospects if you energetically and truly care about them and not your commission, instead of trying to act like you care about them and not your commission, or instead of trying to act like you're not defensive about what objection they're having, and instead actually not be defensive about the objection and be curious about what's going on. So, I don't know if you've heard about this. It is something that I've seen many people beat themselves up about for not being able to do. And to be fair, it is extremely difficult to do. So instead of trying to pretend like you're someone who cares about this or that, or who is an authority over someone, or who's controlling the call, or who, can battle any objection and win, just be somebody who cares about the other person instead of your commission. And your only goal is trying to understand what's going on. If they have an objection, what is the concern here? Are you concerned that you'll be an exception and you won't get results like my other clients? I don't see anything that makes me think that that would happen. However, am I missing information? So you don't have a lot of time. How much time do you have? What does your schedule look like? Maybe they really don't have enough time. And do you want somebody to buy your stuff who doesn't have enough time and isn't going to get a result and then is going to give you a negative review later? No. So you want to be curious, and I'll give space, allow for their concerns to be valid. give space for the other person not to be a fit. When you're going through your discovery process, you want to really ask the things that are usually objections, not avoid them, right? So, are you looking for this to be done for you? Or do you have 3 hours a week? Because this is not done for you, it's done with you. And the benefits are that you have a skill set that you can take with you for the rest of your life and never pay for it again. You are able to communicate these things out of a place of genuine care for the other person and an actual value for the other person. And they can feel that on a level that tone just can't manufacture, right? So if you feel yourself getting defensive or feel yourself feeling a lack of confidence or feel yourself, you can really set those internal radars and red flags inside of yourself to pick up when you're experiencing something that's going to make you sound weird to your prospect and reset yourself. You can even say out loud, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. I really don't like sales calls, but I really want to find out if I can help you. So, da 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 da. Right? The more honest you are, and the more your intention is just, I just want to find out if this solution is right for this person, or if it's not, what would be right for this person, the more sales you're going to make. And you don't have to think about it so much. It will just be natural. So, I hope this makes sense for everyone. And of course, there are ways to do this with words that are going to communicate your value and words that are going to explain how somebody doesn't need this thing that they think they need, or this misconception isn't accurate, without you stumbling over your words, because that is difficult. And admittedly, the hardest part of a sales conversation is explaining what you do with words that are compelling. And that is something that I do with people. I will actually give you the messaging for your offer and your audience that you can use that'll allow you to feel confident enough that you can get curious and play with them in the moment instead of being so distracted and concerned with whether or not you're using the right tone or you're saying the right thing or you're really needing to defend yourself or whatever. So it really allows you to be more present in the conversation when you have a way to explain what you do and guide a conversation that you feel really confident accurately represents you and feels very aligned. And so if that is something that you want help with, please book a sales level up call. And I would love to help you with that because I've recently found out that most sales experts do not give you the words you need to explain what you do, which is crazy to me because I'm like, what are they doing? That's the hardest part. Everybody's like, how do I explain what I do without somebody having to experience it? And a sales expert is like, that's for you to figure out. I'm like, what are they doing then? Like they're just running through repetitions of a generic idea. That sounds wildly unhelpful. And no wonder it takes so many repetitions to work, right? So if you want somebody who's going to get into the weeds of your messaging with you, then book a sales level up call. If you want somebody who is going to, you know, create an Excel spreadsheet where you have numbers that you have to hit every day of cold outreach, and I'm going to hold you accountable to that, that is not me. That is not me. So that would be somebody else. If you want somebody who is going to support you through how to navigate a conversation with less people and convert more of them, that is me. If you want somebody who's going to get you a sheer volume approach, that is not me. So I hope this was helpful for you today. Please don't be sucked into the idea of tone directing everything and instead set your intention, because I went over this in a sales mastermind call recently and one of my clients was like, it changed everything for me. So I thought that I would share it with you all. Thank you so much for listening and I will see you next time.